Welcome back. A hearing is set for next Tuesday in the case for Sean Diddy Combs. This just days after jurors delivered a mixed verdict in his trafficking and racketeering trial.
Hi, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Incredibly graphic testimony today in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. And we have to warn you, some of what you hear may be disturbing.
John Diddy Combs, once a symbol of untouchable wealth, power, in the golden era of hip-hop, now stands at the center of a scandal so earth-shattering, it threatens to erase everything he built. We all remember the flashy suits, the diamonds, potties, and his iron grip on the culture. But now, the same man who once ruled red carpets and Forbes lists is facing accusations so dark they sound like scenes from a high-budget crime drama. Bribery, blackmail, a deeply rooted conspiracy that goes far beyond music. Diddy, once the architect of celebrity excess, now finds himself cast as the villain in a real-life cautionary tale. In the courtroom, where he once walked with swagger, he now sits frozen, his designer suit dull, his eyes darting from juror to judge, hands tightly clasped. He no longer commands the room. He begs it.
So it looks like right now the judge is denying bail, meaning that he will not be released pending the sentencing hearing. I want to emphasize that there are two things happening basically at once. Today is about the conditions of release, if any, and it looks like the reporting from inside the courtroom is that Sean Combs will not be released on bail.
For mercy, the mogul who once declared, "Can't stop, won't stop," now looks like a man who might never rise again. But this trial, it's not just about Diddy, it's about the system protecting him. How does a man accused of racketeering, trafficking, and unspeakable abuse walk away with what many call a slap on the wrist? How does someone with a list of charges that left survivors and advocates shaken get cleared like it's nothing? The murmurs began almost instantly, whispers of backdoor deals, and then came the bombshell, a $50 million bribery scheme. Allegedly, Diddy funneled millions dressed up as charitable donations through secret channels and shadowy insiders. But here's where it gets darker. Names connected to this alleged scheme aren't random. Lou Taylor, the same business manager linked to Britney Spears' conservatorship nightmare. Even whispers of Kardashian connections. This isn't just corruption. It's a manual on how the elite bend justice with money and influence. And it doesn't stop there. According to sources, Diddy didn't just throw money around, he allegedly maintained what insiders called a witness elimination fund. Let that settle in. A hidden slush fund, not just to shut people up, but to make them vanish. People who dared to speak out reportedly disappeared. Their stories buried beneath NDAs and deep pockets. Silenced, erased, forgotten. If even half of this is true, it begs a chilling question. How many voices were buried?
The judge right now is going through a number of different reasons. Again, very quick reporting indicates that the judge is citing to the defense attorney's own statements during the case that Sean Combs is a violent person, has had violent personal relationships. But of course, the defense said that doesn't mean he's guilty of racketeering. It looks like the judge is now using those statements to say he should be denied bail.
To protect Diddy, empire, and worse. How many are still too scared to speak? But the bombshells didn't stop in the courtroom. In the heat of the trial, federal agents allegedly discovered a vault of tapes, explicit recordings from Diddy's notorious freak parties. And these weren't your typical celebrity gatherings. These were marathons of indulgence, where the lines between consent and coercion reportedly blurred beyond recognition. And those tapes, they allegedly feature not just Diddy, but a list of A-list celebrities with reputations built on squeaky clean public images. So now the question burns. What's on those tapes? Who's on them? And why have they never seen the light of day? Are they being used as leverage in high-stakes blackmail schemes? Or are they simply too dangerous to ever be exposed? In a world where secrets are currency, these tapes could be ticking time bombs. For years, Diddy's parties were the stuff of industry whispers. Now those whispers have turned into screams. According to courtroom documents and insider leaks, the parties weren't just wild, they were allegedly designed for control. Some say guests were plied with substances, coerced into acts they didn't fully understand, while cameras rolled the entire time. And Diddy, he wasn't just a participant. He was the alleged mastermind, the man who got off on controlling everyone around him physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And while one anonymous juror told the press the footage was tame, just a lot of oil and rubbing, others aren't so sure. Some believe that explanation was carefully planted to downplay the real content. Behind closed doors, insiders whisper about Hollywood's biggest names being caught on film in compromising scenarios they never expected to see the light of day. Picture this: a married actor, 3 men, 1 bedroom, and a camera rolling. If those tapes get out, careers and empires could collapse. But what's even more disturbing is the suggested complicity. These events weren't accidents. They were allegedly orchestrated. Reports say these parties were about power, dominance, and submission. Some witnesses claimed Diddy's freak-offs resembled rituals more than celebrations, grotesque ceremonies soaked in influence and fear. One accuser even called them satanic rituals disguised as parties, claiming there was a deeper, darker layer to it all. And suddenly, it all sounds eerily familiar. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? We know for a fact he filmed powerful people on his island, politicians, entertainers, business moguls, caught on tape. Many believe those tapes were the real reason Epstein never made it to trial. Now ask yourself, could Diddy's empire have operated under the same blueprint? Cameras, coercion, control, and the threat of exposure as the ultimate weapon. And here's the terrifying part. It wasn't just Diddy. Hollywood thrives on appearances, and for years, his inner circle was treated as royalty. But now, the illusion is cracking. From business associates to bodyguards, whispers suggest that many were in on the tour, at least knew enough to look away. Now, as secrets unravel, fear grips those who once stood beside him. The rabbit hole goes deep, and we may have only scratched the surface. The most chilling part, the brazenness. Diddy didn't just live close to the edge, he built his empire on it. Scandal, manipulation, chaos. It wasn't just tolerated, it was celebrated. But now, the same tools he used to climb to the top may become the very weapons that destroy him. The trial might be over, but the questions it left behind are far from answered. In fact, they've just begun. And then just, when it couldn't get dark, vanished. A key witness in the trial, who bravely testified under a pseudonym, suddenly disappeared right after the case ended. No social media, no trace, no explanation. She was gone, and the timing, too perfect to ignore. Was she silenced, intimidated into hiding, or did someone go further to make sure she'd never speak again? This isn't the first time a whistleblower linked to Diddy's alleged crimes has vanished. Over the years, multiple accusers have either recanted, gone missing, or simply dropped off the map. Coincidence? Or a chilling strategy designed to wipe away the truth? In Jane's case, the warning signs were all their cryptic messages. Unfamiliar vehicles, watching her home, a mysterious break-in where nothing was stolen. Sounds like a Hollywood thriller. But it's real, and with Jane now gone, prosecutors are scrambling. Some believe she entered witness protection. Others fear a fate far worse, because in this world, where power protects predators and secrets destroy lives, truth isn't just dangerous, it's deadly. And Jane, she may have known too much, but here's where it gets even more disturbing. Ask yourself, how many parties, how many rooms full of billionaires and celebrities, did someone lean in and whisper, "It's time to go"? Because what happened after dark at Diddy's events was no accident. Jane's disappearance is chilling, but she's just one missing piece in a much bigger, darker puzzle. Reports now point to international operatives, not PR people, but shadow fixers. Hired guns allegedly paid to erase evidence, silence witnesses, and wipe timelines clean. According to one anonymous source, a critical hotel surveillance video key to the trial was mysteriously deleted just hours after being requested by investigators. Another insider claims multiple witnesses suddenly backed out of testifying after receiving massive payouts or veiled threats. Even private investigators working for victims say they were followed, blocked, or intimidated. It's like peeling back an onion, only to discover more rot with every layer. And remember, this wasn't a man careless with power. It's alleged Diddy had hidden cameras installed everywhere, capturing footage without consent. That's the kind of material that can be used to destroy reputations or buy silence. Now imagine being an A-list movie star, married, squeaky clean image, and suddenly learning that a tape of you at one of Diddy's parties exists. You'd do anything to keep it buried. And that's exactly how power like his survives. But if you thought that was shocking, hold on. New whispers now threaten the very foundation of the trial itself. At the center of this twist, Judge Arun Subramanian, the man tasked with upholding justice. Anonymous insiders now allege that may have once been part of Diddy's inner circle. Spotted at exclusive parties. Connected through private networks. No official records confirm it, but the whispers alone have thrown the legal world into chaos. Because if a judge attended even one of Diddy's hyper-exclusive networking soirees where power, politics, and influence collided, it raises the possibility of a conflict of interest too big to ignore. These weren't casual get-togethers, they were calculated, designed to form alliances, favors, quiet protection. If Subramanian was in that circle, was he ever truly impartial in this trial, or was the game rigged before it even began? The judge has remained silent, refusing to address the speculation, but behind the scenes, things only get messier. Just days before the trial started, a leaked email allegedly tied to Diddy's legal team surfaced. It spoke vaguely of managing the bench and leveraging past acquaintances. No names were named, but many believe it was a veiled reference to Subramanian. Could this be the smoking gun? Observers have since pointed to moments during the trial that now look suspicious. Why were key witnesses like Jane so easily discredited? Why did the judge block critical evidence from being presented? Was it just a brilliant legal defense, or was something more sinister at play? When justice itself feels compromised, how do we trust the outcome? And this is where it gets terrifying. Because if Diddy's alleged web of influence could reach the very bench meant to try him, then how many other cases like this have quietly disappeared? How many predators walk free, protected by money, reputation, and alliances forged in darkness? The thought is enough to shake faith in the entire justice system. As the dust begins to settle, the judge's alleged connection to Diddy has become a scandal of its own, one that could eclipse even the wildest revelations from the trial. If the man holding the gavel couldn't be trusted, what hope is there for truth? And if justice is for sale, what does that say about the future of those still waiting for their voices to be heard? Now, with the jury delivering a partial verdict unanimous on 4 counts, but hung on the 5th, everything is in limbo. The full truth remains locked away, and we're left asking, was this justice served, or justice manipulated? According to industry insiders, Diddy may just be the tip of the iceberg. Whispers point to a network of elite power players, legal masterminds, tech specialists, and high-level enablers who have turned corruption into a craft. They aren't just protecting reputations, they're allegedly erasing reality itself. If true, this isn't just about Diddy, it's about an entire culture of control, thriving in the shadows of fame, money, and unchecked influence. And behind closed doors, there's one question on everyone's lips: what about the tapes? The vault of alleged recordings seized during federal raids, reportedly documenting years of coercion, manipulation, and Hollywood depravity. Why haven't they been released? Are they under legal review? Are they too explosive to see daylight? Some say the footage doesn't just include Diddy, but celebs we idolize, caught in moments that could end careers and trigger a full-scale industry collapse. Worse still, there's a chilling theory gaining traction. What if these tapes are being used as blackmail, the ultimate trump card to ensure silence and obedience? If true, this footage isn't just evidence, it's insurance. Insurance that could be protecting household names, top executives, even political figures. The longer the tapes stay hidden, the louder the question becomes: who else is being protected and why? Meanwhile, the courtroom chaos continues. Some jurors remain deadlocked on racketeering, while a decision on sex trafficking involving Cassie has already been reached. But behind that partial verdict lies a deeper fear that this case is only scratching the surface. Over 50 plaintiffs have now come forward with gut-wrenching stories, detailing years of trauma, coercion, and abuse. Stories that suggest a systematic pattern, not just a one-man downfall. One account detailed in court was especially horrifying. Diddy allegedly showed Cassie a freak-off video she appeared in, threatening to send it to her mother if she didn't participate again. If that's not textbook coercion, what is? The jury's belief in her testimony could shift the entire case. But still, the question lingers: will Diddy, or anyone in his inner circle, ever truly be held accountable? Or will power once again prove more potent than justice? And then there's Jane. Her voice rang through the courtroom, her words sharp, her bravery undeniable. Now she's vanished. Has she gone underground for safety or been forcibly silenced? Will the tapes ever come to light or remain sealed, shielding the elite from consequence? Is this the scandal that finally breaks Hollywood's? Will it fade like so many others, swallowed by a 24-hour news cycle? We want to hear from you. Do you believe the truth will ever be fully exposed, or will Diddy and those allegedly complicit continue to operate above the law? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, the louder we speak, the harder it is for the truth to stay hidden. Stay bold, stay aware. And until next time, keep questioning everything.